Very good morning to one and all present here. My topic for presentation is a new IOL marker for intraoperative alignment of toric IOLs in small pupil during phacosurgery. The Dr. Sri Ganesh and Dr. Sheetal Brar are consultants to Carl Zeiss Meditech, Germany, and the rest authors have no financial disclosure. Spectacle-free cataract surgery is the main goal of modern cataract surgery. Approximately 20 to 30% of the patients undergoing cataract surgery have corneal astigmatism of 1.25 diopters or higher. 10% of the patients have 2 diopters or higher. Astigmatism of more than 1.5 diopters are better corrected by toric intraocular lenses. Placement of this toric intraocular lenses in cases of small pupil poses a challenge because of poor visibility of the toric marks, often leading to misalignment. Causes of small pupil are senile meiosis, pseudoexfoliation, diabetic patients, intraoperative floppy iris syndrome patients on alpha-adrenergic blockers, uveitis, and now recently because of the excessive use of femtosecond laser, which even releases prostaglandins, leading to small pupil. Some of the difficulties for toric IOL in small pupils are, since the marks are not visible, which leads to excessive manipulation, leading to increased prostaglandin release and iris pigment release and iris and wound manipulation, leading to increased surgical time and increased postoperative inflammation and IOP. To overcome this thing, Dr. Ganesh developed a new device called the Ganesh Toric IOL marker. It is made up of titanium. It has a lower end plate with having 2 slit windows and a 3 mm long linear projection with a ridge. The slit windows are used to guide the placement of an indentation mark on the optic of the IOL. Once phacoemulsification is done, the toric marks on the IOL are aligned with the slit windows, and the instrument is gently pressed on the optic of the IOL. Thereby, a mark is indented on the optic of the IOL for about 10 to 15 seconds. The mark stays for around approximately 3 minutes. Then the IOL is loaded into the cartridge and injected into the capsular bag. The linear mark is then aligned externally using the Callisto overlay or the external marks, whichever has been used. On postoperative day 1, there were no marks or scratches on the IOL. Ray tracing was done using eye trace. We found 0-degree rotation, and on the HDA showed no significant scattering. We conducted a study to evaluate the feasibility of using a new marker, IOL marker for the intraoperative alignment. And we enrolled 50 patients, out of which we made into 2 groups. One is the marker group and the control group. Patients were evaluated and post-op 1 week, 1 month, and 3 months for the rotational stability and visual and refractive outcomes. At 1 week, the marker group showed a mean rotation of 2.51 degrees, whereas the control group showed mean rotation of 7.4 degrees. 5 eyes had a rotation of greater than 10 degrees at 1 week, and out of which 3 eyes were re-rotated. At 1 month, the marker group had a mean rotation of 2.54 degrees, whereas the control group had mean rotation of 7.12 degrees. Coming to the UDVA, the marker group had UDVA of 0.03, whereas logmar, whereas the control group had 0.20, which was 0.22, which is significant. And coming to cylinder, the marker group had a cylinder of minus 0.08, whereas the control group had cylinder of minus 0.38, which is again significant. 80% of the eyes in the marker group had UDVA of 20/20 or better, whereas in control group, 68% of the eyes had UDVA of 20/25 or better at 1 week. At 1 month, 92% of the eyes in marker group had UDVA of 20/20 or better, whereas in control group, after the re-rotation, it was 84% of the eyes in control group had UDVA better than 20/25. 96% of the eyes in the marker group had a spherical equivalent refraction of plus or minus 0.5 at 1 week, whereas in control group 64% of the eyes had plus or minus 0.5 diopters. At 1 month, the marker group remained the same, whereas the control group increased to 76%. 96% of the eyes in the marker group had a cylinder less than 0.5 diopters, whereas in control group it was 64% at 1 week. And at 1 month, marker group remained the same, whereas the control group had 76% less than 0.5 diopters. But total 96% were less than 1 diopters in control group. Coming to the rotational stability, 96% of the eyes had rotation or where within 5 degrees of rotation in the marker group, whereas in control group at 1 week, there were around 60% of the eyes at 6 to 10 degrees and 20% of the eyes within 11 to 15 degrees. At 1 month, since rotation was done in the control group, the percentage increased to 72% of the eyes in 6 to 10 degrees, and whereas 8% in 11 to 15 degrees. Coming to the IOP, we even checked IOP and post-op inflammation at day 1. Marker group had less IOP and control group had a little moderate IOP, but IOP was within normal limits. Whereas coming to inflammation, marker group had a minimal inflammation, whereas control group had more inflammation, 2 pluses. The conventional manual marking methods such as the bubble, pendular, or tonometer markers are prone to error due to smudging or dissolution of the ink excessively. And the newer techniques like image-guided femtosecond laser capsule mark, iris fingerprinting are new techniques, but these are having own limitations like cost. So advantages of this new device is it reduces post-op inflammation, less pigment dispersion, less post-op cylinder, and less IOL rotation. To conclude, in our experience, we find the Ganesh IOL marker simple, safe, reproducible, and effective tool. With the use of this simple tool, we can significantly improve visual outcomes, satisfaction, and lesser post-operative complications in our patients having small pupil. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. Nice presentation. How did you measure rotation post-operatively in a contracted pupil? Because after 24 hours, there was no mark on the lens.
Yes, sir.
And you can't see the marks on the lens as well. So
we checked it using eye trace, sir.
You checked in what?
Eye trace, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other question, please?
Hello, Dr.
Yes,
Nikhil.
Yes, sir.
The IOL, the marks on the IOL,
yes,
the reason for this study is that while implanting, the pupil is small,
yes,
and you're not able to see the IOL marks,
yes, sir.
right? So as to align them with the reference marks.
Yes, sir.
And that's why you make an impression, or
Yes,
rather you ink it. Not even, you should not say indentation mark, it's an ink. You are inking it.
Yes, sir.
So indentation would be a plain non-inked mark, okay?
Yes,
so
sir.
you're actually inking it.
Yes,
so
sir.
when that ink mark disappears after a few minutes, maybe a
Yes,
minute,
sir.
you say,
yes,
next day, Dr. Tiwari is asking, next day when you're seeing, how do you do the alignment? Because the pupil is anyway obscuring your reference, your IOL marks.
Sir, we check using this eye trace, sir. So once if the eye trace and AR also we check, sir. If these two things,
the AR is giving you the refraction, okay, the astigmatism.
Yes,
how are the IOL marks aligned? How is the IOL aligned? How do you know that?
How the eye trace is going to give the access? Doesn't tell
that will give you the net refractive astigmatism. No, it will not tell you whether the IOL marks are aligned properly or not as per your reference mark.
Unless you see the marks, eye trace is not seeing. Huh? It is giving the final calculation.
That's giving the net refractive astigmatism. It's giving, no?
Yes, sir.
It's an indirect evidence, not the direct evidence that your lens is aligned.
Post-operatively also the pupil will be little small, but
yeah, that's true. Because if the pupil is not dilating during surgery, obviously it will not dilate afterwards as well.
Because if you could not manage to see during the surgery, post-operatively next day it's going to be even lesser, in fact, no?
Yes, sir.
So how was this done? Maybe you should get back and check and
yes.
understand.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Because you have mentioned that it was aligned.
Yes, sir.
It group in this group it was better aligned.
Yes, sir.
Comparison to other group, right? So this has to be proved.
Yes, sir.
If it is not true, you should not include into the study. You should be based on the post-operative refraction.
Yes, sir.
Not on the alignment. Okay.
We use this eye trace and AR, sir, but as you said,
the eye trace will only give the final outcome of the refraction. No?
Yes, sir.
It will not show the alignment.
So sorry to interrupt, sir. I think with the time.
Yeah.
But it's a very nice presentation.
Very nice presentation.
Especially in those patients who are perioperatively dilating well, but during the operation the pupil is coming down.
Yes,
in those patients, this will work very well because you can then calculate the realignment post-operatively because they will dilate again well.
Yes,
But
sir.
very
Yes.
nice presentation, Nikhil, and
Yes.
will help in the day-to-day practice. It will definitely help.
No,
At least
I'd like to say that for the purpose of implantation on the table, when we lose the marks and the pupil constricts,
Yes.
and you're
Okay.
wondering what to do, how to implant, at least that
Yeah.
stage is very well taken care of. Nikhil.
Very
But
well.
when the next day what you're saying, how do you evaluate? You should go back and check with
That is
your
different.
mentor.
Probably the study should have been done in those patients in whom the pupil is dilating well preoperative,
Yeah.
but paraoperatively is closing down.
Constricts. Yes, yes.
To do the study in those patients, it will give much more accurate result.
Yes, sir.
At least
Nice
per
presentation.
operative, it is quite accurate.
Yes, sir.
You can be very sure during the surgery.
It's a great
you
tool
very much.
actually.
Okay, we have to move on to the next speaker because the time is up.
Thank you, sir.